Hello and a very warm welcome to GBS Late Night. My name is George Okachi. Now, the controversial media bill has continued to elicit heated debate, and today a number of leaders registered their opposition against the ruthless bill. Particularly, the Senate has called for a total scrutiny of the bill, with its leadership echoing on the president's sentiments that call for further consultations. Former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka also joined the fray of those against the bill and has called for its total withdrawal. This comes as the government has committed to consult stakeholders in the media fraternity to iron out the controversial issues. The oppressive media law continues to elicit mixed reaction. We have no interest in usurping powers bestowed on the county governors, assures the senators. And KQ flying big, 777-300ER finally launched.
The past is over. Welcome to a new world of the best cosmetics discount store you have ever wished for. We are your #1 source for quality cosmetics, and not to mention variety of skincare products, makeup, anti-aging, weaves, braids, perfumes, and personal care items. This is indeed good news for you. If you are up for this exclusive discovery, asking where should be your next question. We are located along Thika Road, 100 meters from Homeland Inn and 200 meters to Safari Park Hotel. And remember, if this is a secret, it's one worth sharing. Save big on cosmetics and skincare by coming to us. You will take control of your financial future and make your business a success.
After years of searching, a native tribe from Africa discovers a new way to quench their thirst.
Don't worry, son. Mom and I will take care of them.
Give your family a Vita 500 thirst-quenching sensation. Enrich them with vitamin C. Vita 500, cool taste, healthy living. Available in all supermarkets countrywide.
Kenya Asia Industry Limited, a home of all kinds of outdoor furniture. Manufactured from PE woven rattan, it guarantees 100% durability and brings out the unique, beautiful art. Availability of different designs and color gives you freedom to choose what is best for you. In case of rattan losing, we are there for you to solve the quality problem through repair. We also make steel security doors and interior doors. Indeed, a very warm welcome, and to kickstart our primetime bulletin, the controversial media bill has continued to elicit heated debate, and today a number of leaders registered their opposition against the ruthless bill. Particularly, the Senate has called for a total scrutiny of the bill, with its leadership echoing on the president's sentiments that called for further consultations. Former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, who also joined the fray of those against the bill, has called for its total withdrawal. This comes as the government has committed to consult stakeholders in the media fraternity to iron out the controversial issues.
Though its composition and number of members is unknown, a task force has been formed to look into grievances arising from the media bill. It begins its work upon receiving the amended bill from Parliament.
A representation of this will form a contact group. The contact group will begin discussions with us once we see the text of the bill that was passed by Parliament, which we have not seen.
From the executive, the president has remained steadfast that he will not assent to any bill that contravenes the spirit and letter of the Constitution in upholding freedom of the media.
We will engage with the sector soon so that we can have that concluded. But bottom line, the legislative process ends with a very formal constitutional act called assent, which is what the president will do or not do, and then that is based on the discussions we'll have with the media in terms of bringing out the contact group, in terms of bringing out the issues.
However, with the ruling of the Supreme Court on the powers of the Senate, the bill is now expected to be forwarded to the Senate, with both the Senate Speaker and his deputy already giving their stand.
That is why we are hoping that the bill that was passed by the National Assembly the other day, affecting the media, will be brought to the Senate, because matters of media affect counties also.
So we are waiting for it to come to the Senate, and then the Senate will look at them. Because now, even as per the ruling of the Supreme Court, that all bills must actually be looked into by the two houses.
Henry Minor, GBS News.
And now moving on, Kenya's push to have the cases against President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Samoei Ruto deferred could hit a snag after Foreign Affairs ministers from countries sitting on the Security Council met with the Kenya securing the support of only a handful of the 15 members. Togo, Rwanda and Morocco had circulated a draft resolution for a deferral among UN Security Council members on Friday. But there are indications that the request will be rejected. The discussion, or rather the decision by the UN Security Council, is expected to be out in about a fortnight.
At the meeting in Washington, 8 ministers turned down the proposal, while 2 others were non-committal. It is expected that the views of the foreign affairs ministers will be reflected when the request is put to a vote.
This is killed by extremists, drug cartels.
At the meeting, it is understood Kenya's Foreign Affairs Secretary Amina Mohamed said if Article 16 of the statute was not applicable to Kenyan cases, then it might as well be deleted from the statute. Article 16 of the statute states that no investigation or prosecution may be commenced or proceeded with under this statute for a period of 12 months after the Security Council, in a resolution adopted under Chapter 7 of the Charter of the United Nations, has requested the court to that effect. That request may be renewed by the Council under the same conditions. Kenya is citing the recent Westgate terrorist attack and the continuing peace efforts in Somalia by her defense forces to ask for a deferral. To achieve such a deferral, though, it is necessary to convince at least 9 of the 15 members of the powerful council to vote in her favor without a veto. The only country holding veto power that backed Kenya's request was China. Others that support Kenya's course include Togo, Rwanda, Morocco and Azerbaijan. Countries that rejected Kenya's quest are the US, UK, France, Argentina, Australia, Guatemala, Luxembourg and South Korea.
Part of this same nebulous cat.
However, some of those countries that have shown early signs of rejecting the Kenyan quest have argued that invoking Article 16 was not the right way and instead said the matter should be handled by the Assembly of State Parties to the Rome Statute. It is not the end of the tunnel for Kenya, though, as the country waits for the members of the Security Council to meet formally and come up with a decision in 2 weeks' time. Eric Munene, GBS News.
Indeed, it is a decision that shall be greatly anticipated, and especially back here at home in Kenya. And now moving on, immediate former Judiciary Chief Registrar Gladys Boss-Sholei's case has been transferred to the Industrials Court after the High Court's Division on Constitutional and Human Rights categorized as a contractual-related case involving an employer versus an employee. On the 1st of November, Sholei had petitioned her removal from the office by the Judicial Service Commission on the 30th of October, citing a number of constitutional provisions that were contravened. In her petition number 528 of 2013, Sholei had cited her case as one that needed the interpretation of 16 articles of the Constitution. She further cited Section 8 and 12 of the Judicial Service Act 2011 and the third schedule that she maintains are under violation. Lastly, Sholei in her petition argues that there is a further contravention of another 7 articles of the Constitution. Her case shall now be heard by the presiding judge of the Industrial Court on Tuesday. This is after Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, who represents the JSC, submitted before Judge Mumbi Ngugi that the matter was one that involves an employer and an employee. Mrs. Sholei was sacked by JSC over corpus of allegations involving impropriety, allegations she has since rebuffed as a concerted move by the JSC aimed at hoodwinking the public against founding the rot in the judiciary. Sholei has further decried violation of her freedom and rights and shall be demanding for compensation for unprocedural dismissal. While sacking her, Chief Justice Willy Mutunga cited incompetence, misbehavior, violation of prescribed code of conduct for judicial officers, violation of Chapter 6 and Article 232 of the Constitution, and insubordination. Still from the courts, 4 suspected terrorists, namely Mohammed Ahmed, Liban Abdullahi Omar, alias Aden Mohammed, and Hassan Mustafa, believed to be behind the Westgate attack, were arraigned before the Nairobi magistrate Dolphin Okundi and pleaded not guilty. They were later remanded at the Kilimani police station. Now, moving on, Senate Deputy Speaker and Murang'a County Senator Kembe Gitura has affirmed that the Senate has no interest to usurp powers bestowed on the county governors by the Constitution through formation of the County Development Board. Referring to the war waged by the governors against the County Government Amendment Bill by Nandi Senator Stephen Sang, Kembe said the senators are just seeking for more cohesion and cooperation in the county on matters development.
While touting support to the County Government Amendment Bill that is seeking to introduce the County Development Board, Kembe said the senators have no interest to interfere with the powers of the governors, who we say are the executive chiefs in county. He said the bill only seeks to prevent duplication of projects.
As the things stand at the moment, there's going to be a lot of wastage and duplication because the Member of Parliament has CDF, the governor has the money that he has allocated or has been allocated to him by the county assembly. And if care is not taken, there will be duplication of projects. Whereas if people had sat down and looked at all the projects, then at least the development of each county would be best suited for the interests of the people that we represent, the people in the county.
He expressed dismay at the spirited fight by the governors against the bill, adding that the Senate is just looking at the best interest of the counties.
We have absolutely no interest in usurping the power of the governor because at the Senate we realize and appreciate that the governor is the executive head of the county government.
The governors claimed the bill tabled by Nandi Senator Stephen Sang, seeking to amend the County Government Act, violates the Constitution and want it dropped. The bill seeks to introduce the County Development Board, where the senator will be the chair while the governor will be the secretary. Kembe said the board shall, among other things, provide a forum at the county level for consultation between the national and the county governments.
The governor cannot sit out there in the citadel and tell people what has to be done. It is always good for him or her to listen to what the people want. And when people are united, when people agree on what needs to be done, when people adopt what it is that the people need to be done, you find that progress will be much faster and people-friendly.
The bill also proposes that composition of the County Development Board will include a woman's representative, nominated senators, MPs, MCAs, the leaders of both majority and minority of the County Assembly, and the Speaker of the County Assembly. The County Government Amendment Bill is at its second stage in the Senate.
Now, moving on, road accidents have reached a staggering height, especially in the recent months in the country. The Ntulele accident that claimed over 40 lives, and more recently the Mtindo accident that led to the death of 12 more people when a Dandora-bound train crashed into a public service vehicle are just a few examples of the accidents that have been witnessed on our roads. But what exactly causes these accidents? With some fingers pointing at the police officers, the drivers and others at commuters themselves, the question still remains, who exactly is to fault?
Road carnage is not a new phenomenon in Kenya, with a huge number of fatalities arising from everyday road accidents being witnessed, majority of them being commuters. Taking the recent Mutindwa accident, that is seeing the blame assigned to the driver for allegedly ignoring a traffic directive and resulting in the death of 12 people, with many others seriously injured. What exactly will be the cause of such accidents to happen? Majority of accident statistics point to overspeeding as the main problem.
Because venye magari zinakimbia sana na madereva sana kuwa hawakui wangarivu sana. Sasa unajua madereva ni mavichwa ngumu. Sasa huwezi jua sana venye hao saa ingine na wamebeba watu, huwezi jua venye wanafikiriaga.
Sasa unakuta magari nazo zingine zina overtake. Sasa unakuta sisi tunaenda ile speed inafaa, lakini unakuta nayo zingine zina overtake mpaka mahali ya kufai, na mostly ni personal cars.
The traffic police officers have also been faulted as major propagators of causes of some road accidents, stemming from the bribes they collect on the roads in lieu drivers' traffic offense.
Kubeba ma excess bado inafanya tu hizo ma accidents zinafanyika.
Wenye gari pamoja na askari ndio wanatubindi tuwe tuna overspeed, tuna overload. Juu askari vile tukioverload gari ndio wanataka pesa mingi. Upande ule mwingine wa mwenye gari anataka pesa mingi. Nikienda na kidogo ameanza kulalamika ati hakuna kazi tunafanya.
And if Mwangi would allow himself to be carried as the extra passenger in an already full matatu, he had this to say.
Unajua inategemea juu unaweza kuwa uko na haraka, lakini si poa yenyewe excess.
And on the Mutindwa bus train crash and whether the driver was at fault as widely speculated.
Sasa mambo ingine ya accident inaweza kuja tu, unashindwa, hiyo driver anashida kwa hiyo barabara. Na sasa wakati mwingine ni bahati mbaya, si ati careless.
Kenya loses approximately 3,000 people per year on the roads as a result of road accidents. According to police records, majority of these deaths are mainly due to easily preventable causes, but it is crystal clear that a large number of the population still hasn't learnt the lesson. Florence Gaduita, GBS News.
Indeed, a major concern that needs to be addressed. Now, moving on, Resources-Oriented Development Initiatives, RODI, an organization that focuses on rehabilitating persons in incarcerations, is urging corrective facilities and other stakeholders for a synergized approach that seeks to equip them with skills, self-esteem, and hope in life once they leave the prisons.
Prisons are believed to be places of solitude, torture and lack of freedom for one to explore the skills he or she wishes to fulfill after completing a jail term, so they term it as a cottage of troubles and pain. Resource-Oriented Development Initiative on Assessing and Helping Inmates at Nairobi West focuses on 3 pillars: the offender, community and victim. Through this approach, it has helped reform many prisoners, giving them hope and equipping them with skills likely to make them benefit the society.
For example, if people are stealing because they're hungry, even locking them up 100 times will not make a difference. If anything, it's the ministries that should come up, pull up their socks. For example, the Ministry of Agriculture in enhancing food production. What is required is an organization like RODI or any other to actually sensitize government departments so that they play a role in bringing down crime. Otherwise, we'll continue languishing in crime endlessly.
The program has enabled them rediscover their talents, making them very busy. They also get certificate for the short courses they pursue, after which some become trainers in the prison, thus making RODI count on them to impart what they have learned to others. Something that encourages Senior Superintendent James Mureithi, saying the program urges the inmates to use little resources to make amazing products and pleads with Kenyans to accept them.
Lord Kenya and other NGOs have been doing a very good job of coming to help the prisoners to be rehabilitated. There are a lot of trainings that Lord Kenya is doing to prisoners, and the training that they do to prisoners is good because they are simple things that prisoners can do with very little amount of money when they go out of prisons.
Rodi has received accolades from different quarters on its venture to empower and rehabilitate inmates with paramount skills. Prisons have been reformed, and when the jail term comes to an end, at most 70% of them are usually reformed.
Now, when our people come to the prison, they get to learn different techniques, and if not completely, they are kind of 70% reformed. They get those people from the prison who have completed their sentences. They should accept them. They just need to be loved, to be shown love, and to be accepted.
An observation that is supported by one George Murimi. The community needs to give them another opportunity, even though they erred, but now they are reformed.
Umepata ujuzi ya kulima yote, ya kufundisha kila mtu. Unajua kukaa na nyinyi yote. Hata mtu akikosea mimi na nimesamea yeye, hata mimi akikosea nyinyi utakusamea mimi. Mimi imekuwa mtu mpya kabisa, sasa imerekebika kabisa. Imebadilika, sio kama ya zamani.
Many of them promise to put into action what they have learned from Rido. They have for real changed their moral values, and their prayer is only one, that the society find a place in their hearts to give them another chance. Jojo Wino, GBS News.
Indeed, how much one can be rehabilitated, and of course, agriculture plays a very critical role towards this agenda. Now, moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta has officially launched the Kenya Airways' biggest aircraft, the Boeing 777-300ER, which is part of the expansion program of the national carrier. The president has said that the launch of the aircraft will enable trade connections, attract investments, which will create job opportunities for Kenyans.
The Jubilee government plans to make Nairobi the air hub of East Africa, and with the launch of the new Kenya Airways Boeing 777, the move, according to the leaders, is a plus for the plan in process. President Uhuru Kenyatta has said that Kenya Airways is playing its part in influencing the economic growth of the country, in encouraging business, trade and tourism.
Our vision of a peaceful, highly developed, borderless region is quickly becoming a reality in our region, fueled by our commitment to build first-class infrastructure that will ease movement of people, goods, and services.
Deputy President William Ruto has also emphasized on the expansion of infrastructure to make Kenya a middle-income economy in the shortest time possible.
The launch of this successful program by Kenya Airways adds momentum to the imminent economic growth that is about to take place in our country.
Cabinet Secretary Engineer Michael Kamau discouraged the U.S. against issuing travel advisories to its citizens not to visit Kenya.
We are working very closely with the American ambassador, His Excellency Robert Godek. We've already started engagements, and when we receive the aircraft, I say that it would be a great honor for the ambassador if these flights can start during his tenure as ambassador and as me as a cabinet secretary. However, we don't have to wait long. It may happen very soon.
After the launch, guests experienced a demo tour in the 45th aircraft of the national carrier Kenya Airways. KQ plans to launch a similar aircraft in March 2014 after acknowledging high yields and stabilized oil prices, which have improved the growth of GDP. The KQ Boeing 777-300ER has a capacity to carry 400 passengers plus 60 tons of cargo. It will fly to and from Guangzhou 3 times in a week. Plans are also underway to see it make direct flights to the U.S. Diana Mbogwa, GBS News.
Well, quite a major stride, and of course our reporter Diana Mbogwa and her colleague Samuel Opewa having the rare opportunity, of course, of having a flight to Mombasa on that very flight. And that marks the end of the main segment of tonight's bulletin. But don't go away, I'll be up next with GBS Sports News. very warm welcome to GBS Sports News. Now, Kogalo FC fell to a 2-0 loss by bankers KCB thanks to Aluanga's brace that caused them tearful joy that toned down the party after 18 years of a trophy drought. All the same, the champions deservedly received the trophy after their dismal performance at the Moi Sports Center, Kasarani. In a separate encounter, Sony Sugar and Mathare United registered massive wins to demonstrate their survival determination as they, alongside Homeboys, are still under the threat of being relegated. At the mid-table, the battle of a top 8 finish ensues as a single match is remaining for each side.
Lifting of the trophy.
Just as Kogalo were crowned the 2013 champions, it is now safe to say that Karuturi Sports have been axed from the top flight soccer in spite of a single at hand.
One of the better known clubs.
With 2 teams expected to be relegated, Sony Sugar, Mathare United as well as Homeboys are fighting to the nail to beat the chop, as any of the 3 teams can join the Flowermen. Sony, however, has an upper hand as it has 2 more games against Chamil Sugar on Wednesday and against Bandari on Saturday. Homeboys will play AFC Leopards in a tough encounter as Ingwe fight to finish second with Sofapaka inexorably on their heel. Gor Mahia received the trophy on Sunday, but not as they wished it would go down in style after losing 2-0 to KCB. Sofapaka drew 0-0 against Western Steamer, thus lowering their second place finish, while AFC Leopards lost 2-1 to Bandari in Mombasa. Ulinzi Stars demolished Thika United 3-0, while City Stars and Muhoroni shared a barren draw. Sony Sugar grabbed a lifeline with a 3-2 victory over Tusker, while Mathare United sentenced Karuturi to doom with a 2-0 victory. Gor Mahia retained 59 points on the table after the loss, while FC Leopards are second on 47 points, followed by Sofapaka, who have similar points but with a less goal difference. KCB, Bandari, Ulinzi, Tusker and Thika are all in contention for a top 8 finish with a match at hand. Chamil Sugar, City Stars, Muhoroni, Western Steamer, Mathare, Sony Sugar, Homeboys and Karuturi occupy the last 8 positions. Florence Ndongo, GBS News.
Well, elsewhere, Kenya Rugby Union and the National Sevens rugby title sponsors Kenya Airways will have to commit their 2013-2014 package following the arrival of the new Sevens tactician Paul Treu. Amid previous speculations for the takeover, it is now official that the South African is in town before he is officially unveiled on Tuesday to the public. Thereafter, he shall initiate a blueprint for the Sevens team.
Coach Paul Treu arrived in the country on Monday and will be unveiled this Tuesday at a Nairobi hotel alongside his Kenya Sevens management team. And after a lot of speculation, half-truths and talk spanning 2 months, it's now true that Paul Treu is the man to lead the National Rugby Sevens team as head coach, with a lot of his intrigue already ahead from the expected landing.
So here comes the captain, Frankie Horn, cuts back inside, the pass to Paul Delport.
The worst-kept secret in Kenyan rugby was confirmed last month that the former South African Bliss Book coach will succeed Englishman Mike Friday at the helm after board members travelled to South Africa. The tactician is expected to lead Kenya for the remainder of the HSBC Rugby Series, as well as guiding the country to the glorious 2016 Olympic Games.
Away goes Collins and Jera. Great play.
Kenya lost to Fiji in the plate final of the Gold Coast Circuit in Australia under the stand-in coach Felix Ocheng, followed by mixed results against New Zealand, Australia, United States and Tonga, which were disturbing for the new man during the first leg.
A slip there, but second try, Ilatina making it look so...
Treu's hard bargains and negotiations with the union are aimed at establishing a permanent stay for the coach, different from Mike Friday, so that he can implement his program in developing the sport.
Top try scorers, and that is a...
In the meantime, Mwamba Rugby Club stay at the top of the table in the Kenya Cup after a perfect start this season in the 32-0 win over Black Blood at the Railways Club. The Black Shirts, who finished 4th last year behind champions Nakuru RFC, Strathmore Leos and Kenya Commercial Bank, target the glory with the bonus point after the Kenya Rugby Union introduced new rules and regulations for the campaign. The Enterprise Cup holders visit Kisumu RFC, who are yet to kick the ball this season after their match against KCB was postponed by the union last weekend. Nondescripts registered a bonus point against the visiting Western Bulls at the Jamhuri grounds as they turned round the tables from a 15-5 deficit to a stunning 24-18 success at the final whistle. While Kenya Harlequins and defending champions Nakuru RFC collected maximum points against Mombasa Sports Club and Eldoret RFC, who make a return to the top flight, the Bankers alongside Impala and Homeboys are the other sides yet to test the waters after missing weekend action. Mbaka Collins, GBS Sports.
Well, our sports reporter Mbaka Collins' piece on rugby news wrap winds up GBS Sports News. Well, that's it for GBS Late Night. Thank you for watching. Let's meet again tomorrow.